So in
Mhm.
season, when we do a weekly rental, it's anywhere between 1,600 a week to 2,200 a week. And then we have a three-bedroom, one bath, which is about 850 square feet. We rent that one out off season for 25 and in season anywhere between 1,800 to 2,400 a week.
And, it's great.
Nice.
So,
Sounds like
yeah,
Awesome.
but I have to remember that in the future, to put guests on there in case I ever do run into a problem, they could get out the same day or whatever the next day.
I think I've been doing furnished rentals like 6 or 7 years. I've not had any eviction. I've had really no issue.
Well, we had one that wanted to extend it and he didn't pay.
Hmm.
He said there's a problem, this and that. He stayed 3 extra days, but Airbnb actually reimbursed us for
Good.
those days. So, it turned out okay. But yeah, you really got to watch who you put in there.
I'm Olson. You have so many of these. I mean,
And we've been
you
doing
must
short term.
enjoy it. The cash flow, I mean.
It's just yeah, it's a lot of work, especially when you're doing as much as we're doing. And we've gone from short term to midterm kind of in our
A
history.
lot,
We
most
started
of
in
them.
2015 with the short term rentals. We started with one. We thought it was fun. It was great. We went to two. And then two was kind of like, oh, this is actually work. You gotta actually get to do this. And then three was like almost a full-time job. And then we went to five, and we went from five to like 15 in like 8 months or a year. That's just kind of like the progression there. And 15 short-term rentals just sucked for us. It was just not good for us. All of our like we go to church on Sundays, and that's what that's what we do. And in the summertime, right? Like every one of them is turning over on Sundays. So like we were having cleaning ladies like cancel on us last second, and we were cleaning them ourselves, and we just said this is not for us. So right now, I know we have 52 total units. Only two of them are ever available for less than 30 days. One is our Arapahoe house in Florida, and then the other one we have another house on the beach up here in Northwest Indiana. But all the other ones are 30-day minimums. And we like that. That's just, it's a lot closer to a regular lease.
Yes,
Yeah,
that
A
too.
zipper.
To go with the bed.
that's
Yes,
good.
yes.
That's,
Absolutely.
and we don't do any screening really, honestly. We've only had
We do
one
very
problem,
little.
and we've had one problem. So
Yeah, I
like,
haven't had any.
and I will tell you, like we had more problems when we were doing the short-term rentals and we were allowing like one night stays type of deals. The
Same.
people you have problems with are always locals. It's always a local guy.
Just everything. Yes. And and how about on your sites, does somebody put in, suggestions or things about what they've enjoyed or just anything? Compliments, being grateful, you know. Does anybody do that or show that on stuff or
So are you talking about from the host to the guest or from the guest back to the host?
the guest to the host? Yes.
So honestly, like
Occasionally, yeah,
it's just
How
part of
corny.
our process. It's just part of the process to thank them for their stay and
yeah.
what they're doing. And then
Okay.
normally we have a little goodie bag for them, and we always actually do a handwritten note when they come in. So every single guest that comes into every one of our properties gets a handwritten note.